Well, we'll get started.
Okay.
We'll just start with the prayer. Father, we're thankful to be together this morning. We pray, Jesus, bring healing for Tom and bring him back in full strength. And I pray you bless our time this morning and looking at your word, give us your wisdom and guidance to the. And so on short notice. Yeah, what we're going to do is some preparation for the sermon this morning.
Okay.
I thought we looked at the passage. I don't know if you read over what you're doing today. There's a particular challenge and parable. Mark 16, 1 through 13, you can pass through. First things first is I'd like you to read it. And I want you to write down the big questions. What questions come to mind when you read this parable?
What was that again, June?
Luke 16, 1 through 13. That was the parable of the dishonest manager. So take a few minutes, read through it, write down your questions.
You gotta get it open first.
Yeah, Luke 16.
Okay, what chapter?
Luke 16, 1 through 13.
Unjust.
You're cheating.
And we're supposed to write down what? I'm sorry.
Questions. I mean, this is difficult.
Questions as to what's, questions that are in there or questions that I have?
Questions you have about this
Oh.
passage.
Okay.
Because then I really don't sure I understand this. Because there's things about this that are hard to understand. Y'all read through it anyway?
It is a tough one.
Yeah. Just writing down the questions about why it's so tough. They chewing on this passage for a little while like this. Gonna make the sermon better.
But it gives you an opportunity to kind of reevaluate, rethink, and the deeper meaning of it.
Yeah,
If you just went in cold, it's like you coach through.
Yeah.
Now you're a little bit.
the brain's not in gear for this particular thing, yeah. Gene just says it's too hard.
We can give up.
My first one was, why could he not do something else?
Well, we had two reasons.
Yeah, I know he had two reasons, but if you have to, you could learn how to dig and get stronger at it.
My first question is, was it ingenuity or dishonesty?
Yeah,
Agreed. I mean, later on, I'm not sure. I don't think I would be happy if he told people to write
Yeah.
down that, you
They
know,
have, but I guess it's better than going empty-handed to say, I didn't, these people haven't paid. At least you feel like you have recouped something.
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah. There are people haven't paid. Why are they
Yeah.
having big debts?
Yeah.
How come you have all these debtors to run around?
And in the end, when I said you cannot serve God and mammon or money, my thought was, if you are not fully grounded in Christ, I mean, trusting, believing, you have a tendency to default to your money, what the money can do for you. And I think, I mean, sometimes as believers, we want to say that we are so righteous and holy, but when the rubber meets the road and you're really in a bind, what do?
same with this guy. He was in he was in that bind,
Yeah,
and he did it in a way that, at least they could probably pay something,
something, yeah.
instead of getting nothing.
And I guess it would make both people, the manager happy as well as the debtor as well
Mhm.
happy, because, well, geez, I didn't have to pay all $10, I only gave him $5.
Mhm.
Okay, there's another one. How much did they really owe?
Yeah,
How much was that worth?
Yeah.
That's just like, oh, only $10 and you wrote it down to 5. That's nice.
and you look
One
at
of the
people
$10.
who like filed bankruptcy. I think one of the thing, I had a friend who did, and they ask you, well, to negotiate with the bankers or whomever, that
Lenders.
to pay a certain, a smaller amount, each month, instead of for 500, can you afford to pay 100 per month or something like that? So it's looked at, even realistically in our day and age, that does happen.
Yeah, sometimes they just want to stretch it out longer.
Yeah, oh yeah, the interest.
Just pay the interest, yeah.
Well, I don't know in bankruptcy, there is interest on that. I think it's a lump sum that the judge says, this is what you owe, this is what you have to pay. The negotiations with the banks have already, or whatever, lending agencies have already taken place. And they've said, okay, I'll accept this amount. This is the bill, but I'll accept this amount. And they put all that together. And then I don't know that there's interest on that,
Right, well,
but it's
in this
definitely
story,
over time.
in this story, what are the implications of what he's done? And how he did it?
Well, he hasn't done his job, that's for sure.
That seems where we start.
Yeah.
He's been wasting the owner's money.
But to get back in his good graces, I guess, he felt like he could give a little something, something. I mean, he could lie his way through it to say, I was trying, but it wasn't, so this is all I could get from these people. Obviously, he's dishonest, whichever way you look at it.
Well, he was dishonest. Well, how come he's getting out at the end of the story and he's like, he's fine? He's gonna be good. How can that be? He was a dishonest, rotten manager.
Maybe it's looking at, that Christ has forgiven all of us, grace, big sin, little sin, looking at, geez, how did he get to heaven?
Yeah, is this guy on his way to heaven?
But, well,
All right, let's just, we're on the right track, okay? We're getting the good questions, but and I'm not gonna try and answer all of them. But I want to give you some background that will help you understand the parable better. And I don't know what the pastor's gonna do, obviously. I don't want to steal his thunder entirely. But here's some cultural stuff that I got from a guy named Kenneth Bailey. I pulled this book and read through this chapter on this particular parable. First of all, I'll start with this steward, the manager. Oikonomos, like economy, but oikonomos. That's the guy that does his hand with the money. So this guy says, all right, now I want you to manage my affairs. I think in this case, property. Here's my land. I want you to manage my land. You can lease it out to people. They can farm a nice olive grove over here. I've got some great wheat fields over there. And you're going to manage that for me. And you bring me the profits. He probably even sets up, this is how much money I should get from here, how much I should get from there. And then he's figured that out so that, the farmer gets some money, he gets some money, and he's happy, right? So he's working in the master's name with the master's authority, with the master's signet ring, even. The next question, were the debt reductions actually dishonest? So he's got all of the debtors, if you can read it, it says everyone who owed, okay, not just two people. And he talked to them individually and said, all right, now your debt was this, and now it's going to be this, and I'll just sign right here with your name. This is what your debt is now. Each of them, there's a different amounts on each one. So the thinking here, if you remember your tax collectors at this time, tax collectors weren't paid by Rome. They just collected a little extra. And I think there was an allowed amount according to Rome, and some of them
Embellished.
They needed a little more. This guy worked on the same principle. Then that he was supposed to collect this much money, but he could collect a little more so that he had his share. And that's how he provided for himself. Sometimes lavish.
So are you saying that the amount that
That he wrote off was the amount that he was going to collect. But now that he was fired, he was never going to collect it. So it didn't cost him anything to say, your debt's forgiven. He said, I'm not going to collect it, so we'll just write that off.
okay, so for the guy for 100, he had increased it by twice.
Fine, yeah, he doubled it, yeah.
Because that's what he told the guy he owed, when actually he only owed the master 50.
Right,
Is that what you're saying?
something like that, yes.
Okay, so and the other one that he really owed the master 80, but
And this obviously isn't in the story, but it's quite possible that the folks at the time knew that's how these things worked. And, that's what he's doing.
the tax collectors were hated by the.
Yeah, yeah.
especially if he was a Jewish tax.
So in doing that, these people are just thrilled. They're having a party. All of these debtors say, whoa, it's a great day. It's like your student loan got paid off halfway, right? Just overnight. I think there probably is some real harm to the master in that he's going to hire a new manager. And that manager is not going to collect that easy. Or he's going to have to somehow work that out. So there probably is some real harm there, but
If he had hired him, he would be getting a wage from the master. So whatever he was doing would be,
well, rather than a
Above
wage, he
that.
gets a piece of the action. He doesn't get paid on a monthly wage. He just gets a piece of whatever he collects.
Well,
Percentage?
then what was wrong with what he was doing?
Oh, the next guy. He was gonna assume these debts.
What next guy?
The guy that
Someone's
he's
gonna
hired.
replace him as manager.
Right.
The master's gonna hire somebody else to do the job. And that job, that guy's gonna get paid.
You keep using the word hire. To me, hire means you pay him to do this job.
You're gonna assign him, gonna make him your local representative.
Okay. So how does he make a living if he does not do what he's doing here or the master pays him?
Right, he's gonna have to do what this guy does. But now this guy has written down the debts, so the piece that he was supposed to collect is no longer there.
Okay.
It's not that important. Move on. So maybe, and that's conjecture, maybe, he didn't really do something all that bad as it said. Which really changed the picture. If you're thinking what he did in writing down debts wasn't actually stealing. Yeah, see, you just walk in and it's all over. Too bad.
Yeah.
The next thing. Oh, how big were those debts? 100 measures of olive oil, 100 measures of wheat. How much is that? So 100 measures of olive oil, you the yield of 150 olive trees for an entire year. Or the yield of about 100 acres of wheat. It's like a year and a half wages.
Now, he was saying that he owed the master the 100,
Yeah,
right?
right. Yes.
Well, we don't have time to go over it again.
Well, I'll catch you up later. But on this one, they owed a lot. They owed a lot, and he wrote down enough to be like a year and a half wages, $100,000. Huge amount. Okay? So it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. And also, as you were alluding to, why do they have these huge debts? How come they haven't been paid? Maybe that's why he was not a good
Mhm.
manager.
I think that's why he had to turn in his accounts.
Yeah, right, turn in the books. But this manager, this landowner trusted him enough to let him have the accounts for another day or two, or a week, or however long it was.
Quickly write down the old ring.
No, give me the ring right now, you can't do anything. Yeah, he didn't do that. That was his mistake.
Mhm.
And it wasn't, a common practice to have an absentee landlord. And so this guy that owned the land and wasn't there, he assigned someone else to be the manager. Gave him the ring, said, we handle this. 7 months. And then verse 8. And you get it open, you read verse 8 for me.
And his master praised the unrighteous steward because he had acted shrewdly. For the sons of this age are more shrewd in relation to their own kind than the sons of light.
Yeah, just let that stand alone.
Mm.
So is this manager a son of light or son of this world? Just on the surface.
When I read it, the first thing that came to my mind is when somebody says like, you're not street smart, you're not street savvy.
Okay,
And
so you're of the street, you're of this world.
yeah,
So he's acting like someone of this world. And he was. Huh? That's great.
Well, he knew he was out of a job.
He knew that
Going to be.
job, he had a crisis point, something's going on now, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And he hatched a plan. And you haven't probed the depth of that plan yet, I'm gonna help you out. And he hatched a plan, and he did his writing off of the debts. And now in verse 8, point is raising up the children of light and the children of the world, which was a common motif. The children of light, the good people, the people who love God. People of the world, no different today. Right, we still have people in this world. Which takes us to, you said the word men. The Bible probably said money.
Well, it's
You said
It's like Jesus is telling this parable,
Mhm.
and it strikes me funny that he's commending the bad guy.
And then the bad guy, yep.
Well,
Good, that
because
should be
you
your
dealt
question.
shrewdly, you know.
That should be your question. Should be on your paper. Why is the bad guy getting on so well?
That makes no sense to me.
Right, we're still going. So the children of this age, people of the world, people of the light. Purpose person of this world. Hatched a great plan and did big things for himself.
So was the master as worldly as the steward was? In this particular case, because why would you go, well, that was very shrewd, that was,
Well, all right, we'll get to that one too.
yeah, I'm just saying, you know, it's like,
Let me get past man and then we'll get to that. So there's a reason why scriptural interpreters keep the word mammon instead of putting the word money in there. Because it had more of a significance than just money at that time, and even in this time. But mammon was more than just money. It was money personified. It was money raised to a idol of a living God. Okay, there are people today for whom money is their God. They spend all day, every day pursuing money,
Always and forever.
always and forever, into eternity.
Mhm.
So mammon is more than just money. It's a way of life. It's a religion. So the children of this age are not very clever with their use of money. Um, oh, yes, the whole um, well, there's a whole concept of honor and shame. Okay, he couldn't get another job because it would be a shame. Isn't that what it says?
Mhm.
I mean, I'm ashamed. I can't beg. I'm too old to dig and too ashamed to carry. That was a very big
but
deal.
he's not too old to cheat.
Yeah, he's not too ashamed to cheat his boss, right? He's not too ashamed to be a lazy manager.
What he's actually doing though is he's indebting the debtors to himself.
Exactly. So, and he did it in a very clever way. As you see, he brought each person in and had them sum up. So when he hands the books to the master is gonna look and see exactly what he did. He's gonna know that the debtor now knows that his debt's been reduced, and he can't just say, oh, that was all wrong, was not authorized to make that, you can't just back it off. Because that would make very shameful for him. Instead, the thing to do would show him to be a wonderful man, would be to compliment him on his cleverness, which he does. About shame. Looking good. So he makes himself look good. He backs the owner into a corner. You can't undo this without looking like a fool. Being ashamed of yourself. So he says, good job. There you go. Now all those folks love him.
He has a good reputation among them all. He's very generous. He's very
Oh, yeah.
understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, when it welcomed me into their house, he's not just coming for dinner. He's looking for a job. Oh, look how well I did for you in my past job. I can do that again. Seem to like to hire me, I'll manage your case.
And
Yeah.
half of your stuff away too. I don't think so.
And the lesson that comes out of that is,
Bad is bad. Sorry.
use the things of this world to buy yourself treasure be next. Which doesn't mean that guy's doing that. Some call this using a bad example to make a good point. All right, that gives you that kind of an overlook of maybe what this thing is trying to tell you. Be wise, be clever as the world. What's that word about the clever as snakes and innocent as doves?
Wise as a serpent
Yeah.
and gentle as a dog.
You know, wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove. Interesting. So we need to be wise in the ways of money in order to gain treasures in heaven. Okay? Christians have kind of reputation of being gullible.
Well, 10 kind of sets things straight,
And, okay. Go ahead.
right? He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much.
Mhm.
And he who is unjust in what is least is unjust also in much. Which is saying, who is a real jerk. Therefore, you have not been, well, did you want to stop it?
So the next thing I want to take you to is looking at the context. So read on, 14 and 15,
Therefore,
on down. Verses 14 and 15.
um, 14 and 15.
Mhm.
Now the Pharisees, who were lovers of money, also heard all these things, and they derided him. And he said to them, "You are those who justify yourselves before men, but God knows your hearts. For what is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of God."
So that may help us a little bit. He's addressing the Pharisees here. He says, Pharisees, you are lovers of money. So this little story is going to drive you up a wall. Right?
God knows your hearts.
Yes. You justify yourself before men, but God knows your heart. It was exalted among men, money, an abomination in the sight of the Lord.
Also, they were, you know, they put all these rules and regulations on top of what the Lord did. And they held people to those stringent rules.
They would also cheat because you brought your lamb. They go, "Oh, there's a problem with this lamb. You have to buy one of these lambs." Then they take your lamb and sell it to somebody else.
Yeah,
So they, you know,
they were cheaters all the way.
Yeah.
yeah,
They
They
did
were
it.
lovers of money.
and they probably got a cut, you know,
No, oh, why? Yes, every which way.
but
Continuing in context, what's the story that comes right before this?
Oh, the lost sheep.
well, no servant
Oh,
can
the
serve
prodigal
two.
son.
The prodigal son. From the prodigal son, we've got a character
Mm-hmm.
who was wasting money left
Yep.
and right. Wasn't really his money, it was his dad's. We've got a dad who,
Party time.
when the son comes home,
Yeah.
welcomes him with open arms. All that wastefulness is forgotten.
Well, his son wised up.
Well, his son was laid low to hit a crisis point, okay, hit a crisis point. Decided, I'm gonna come, makes a plan, I'm gonna go home. It's got a
I'll be a
crisis.
servant. My
Yeah.
dad's servants eat better than I
Huh?
would.
So that, the prodigal son hit a crisis,
Yeah,
made a decision. And then made action. And that this man hit a crisis point, I got fired. He made a plan.
or I'm getting fired.
Well, no, he was done. He was done. There was no backing away from, he was done from that job.
Well, if he was done, he wouldn't have been able to redo the other.
That's why he did it quickly.
Yes, that's why you do it really fast.
Quick, come here.
Come here.
I'm gonna do you a favor.
he listed 2 debtors, but he said he called all of those debtors.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah.
So he had a lot of people.
Well, after the first couple, they would be telling the others, get in here. Yeah,
But
so there's been some nice parallel between this and product, so.
Yeah, the prodigal son was basically in the eyes of the beholder, or in the eyes of,
He was a mom,
he was unreclaimable,
yeah, he was the worst.
basically.
He's getting what he deserved.
He's getting what he
Just let it-
deserved. I mean,
let it
God
fall
can't,
through.
God won't be able to bring him back into the fold. But
I also wanted to point out, the other brother that was faithful was really ticked when his dad
oh yeah,
threw a party for him.
Mhm.
And he said, don't you realize all that we have is yours? But your brother was dead, now he's alive. I mean, he was a jerk before, now he's just,
Get your priorities straight, so.
Yeah. so I mean, he's not gonna be that stupid anymore again.
Well, yeah, you're thinking that he's really changed.
Yeah.
So you almost didn't have that son at the start of the story. The end of the story, you have a son.
And while he doesn't have an inheritance anymore, he is still your brother.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Um,
which is to say that his restoration was entirely at the father's expense, right?
but, before he was wasteful, now he knows the value of what he wasted.
Mhm.
And he won't have that anymore because he doesn't have any. But, he will probably be profitable to his brother as a family member, even though he doesn't have an inheritance anymore.
He made it work on the farm now. It's doing something better than feeding pigs.
Yeah.
But I think it's deeper. The Lord looks at, we look at the outward appearance. We would just say, let me just use Billy Graham for an example. And this is just hypothetical. We see him as, I don't know if he's dead, but we saw him as somebody who was focused, sold out completely for Christ. We saw that on the outward, but do we know what's going on the inside? I heard David Jeremiah made a statement, which I mulled over it a bit. So when a lot of us, when we get to heaven, when the Lord checked our works that we have done, it's going to be all burned up. He said we're going to be totally naked, indecent exposure, because we're looking at somebody for the outward, what we perceive that they're doing. But inside, we don't know what's going on inside. The Lord knows.
But
the pastor that was here before, he said it's gonna be eye-opening to know who is actually
Right.
going into the kingdom and who isn't.
And I think we really can't know.
We can't.
I was mulling over Solomon this morning because many people ask, is Solomon in heaven? And I think, the Lord commended him in the first part, the wisest man and all the
it's so
things that he
great.
did. But then,
It's so bad.
yeah, I know, it made his children pass through the fire, like an abortion, basically, and he did all of those things. When we talk about you're saved forever, you can't lose your salvation, we would say that he was truly saved. The Lord commended him in many ways, but where is he today?
Mhm.
Does the things that he has, the things that he has done, do these things nullify his,
Our favorite, Samson.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Samson did not live a holy life
No.
But at least
by
he-
our regards.
At the end, he
But at
repented.
the end, he did he had faith in God,
Yeah.
saying that,
Yeah.
just give me
One more time.
one more,
He is
one
in
more.
Hebrews 11. Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't say anything about Solomon. Where is Solomon?
the Lord knows. Maybe
Exactly.
maybe he'll be in the streets with us. Maybe not. I don't
even the
know.
man after his own heart.
David.
Mhm.
That's
Well,
what thank you.
But David
I mean-
repented.
Yes,
Well, he
David
did
continued
later,
to go
but
back. to the
after he
Lord.
got caught,
Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't repenting until the prophet said, you're the man.
But it doesn't matter. He repented, but
Yes.
we can't say
Well-
the same for Solomon.
Well, I think
Yeah.
toward the end, the Song of Solomon, you know, he's going, all this stuff is frivolous.
That's Ecclesiastes.
Or Ecclesiastes, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Vanity.
Solomon, sorry,
That's very good.
Ecclesiastes, yeah, he's going. I don't know, to me, it's kind of like I blew it, you know. I worried about all this stuff and it's worthless.
Judas blew it also, but he
No,
didn't
really,
repent.
Well,
So-
no, yeah,
It's not right.
well,
I, you know,
see, Judas had a whole different,
All right, let's go another direction.
Okay.
We got pretty far afield.
well,
No. No,
Bring it back in.
I need to learn to just be
I
quiet.
was inconsistent, what you do, didn't think about the Zacchaeus,
well,
the wee little man.
Right.
yeah,
What was his job?
tax collector.
Was he a dirty rotten scoundrel?
Yep.
They all were, mostly.
And then he had Jesus over for dinner,
Mhm.
and that became a crisis point in his life, all of a sudden.
And he repaid more than twice what he had stolen, so, you know, he repented. That's what I'm saying, all
Yeah,
of
so
these
he
people.
hit that crisis point, he made a decision to
Yeah.
follow Jesus.
Mhm.
And that meant changing his life from chasing mammon
Absolutely.
to chasing God,
Yeah. Mhm.
and he makes a plan. Plan is
Return,
return money.
yeah, but he is stolen.
Matthew was a tax collector.
Yeah.
And he was a devout follower.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he quit his tax collecting.
He
Yeah.
did, he did, but I'm just saying, I mean, he became a
Right.
devout follower.
I know what I wanted to. It still applies.
Okay.
The wood, hay, and stubble she was talking about, though, is at the judgment seat of Christ. And the things that we've done that are only for this world, that's the wood, hay, and stubble that'll burn up. Only what we've done for
For
Christ
Christ,
will last.
yeah.
So, it's not that we will be without
Yeah.
anything, all right? It's just that, you know, Christ, God knows our heart. He knows what is good and faithful. And the other stuff is just gonna like blow away. It's
I hope
gonna
we
be
have
like-
enough of what's in Christ and not
Well-
enough of the blowaway stuff.
in Christ, if we're in Christ, Christ is in us,
Mhm.
all right? So I mean, that's not the question. It's not a point of salvation. It's just a point of
Reward.
rewards for our, in a sense, works, that were works for God
We're gonna leave it
are
right
gonna
into the
last,
next
works
passage.
for ourselves aren't gonna last.
Let's go to
So,
Matthew 6.
okay,
Matthew 6, 19 to 24. Matthew 6.
19?
19 through 24.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust or thieves can break in and steal. For whatever wherever your treasure is, that's where your heart also is.
Keep going.
Oh, more?
Mhm.
Okay. The lamp of the body is the eye.
Yep.
Oh, through 24. Okay, sorry. The lamp of the body is the eye. Therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be filled with light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be filled with darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon,
Money time.
thinking like the world,
Yeah, that's
basically.
That's a quote. Parable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But almost thinking it. Manna,
Okay.
mammon is,
Mammon is different than mammon, yes. So can you use the money in this earth to buy treasure in heaven?
No,
Mhm.
well, are you a better Christian if you're poor than if you're rich? I mean-
That, yeah.
you know, you come to that whole question, and I go, let me see, God blessed Abraham with abundance, he blessed, you know, they would be wealthy in the world's eyes, but it was God's blessing. Also Job, I mean, Job was very blessed by God.
Yeah, then he lost everything, so he was
Yeah.
a much better Christian at that point.
Well, he wasn't, yeah, but I mean, he still was faithful to the Lord, and the Lord tripled what he had. But I'm just saying, I think it's where the heart is what he's pointing at. If you're only chasing after worldly goods, you're not going to be any heavenly worth. But if you're focused on the Lord, you know, he'll provide your needs,
Yeah.
which may be a lot or maybe little. It just depends.
It starts out here, do not lay up for yourself treasures on earth. And moth and rust destroy, where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourself treasures in heaven. I think they have a treasure in heaven.
Well, I guess it's like Malachi chapter 3, where it says, bring all the goods into the storehouse that it will pour out a blessing on you. And I always think about somebody, if you're making $100, it's easy to give the Lord, $10 is not too bad. But when it comes to you make 100,000, now you have to give him 10,000. That's where a lot of people get stuck, because they're thinking of, it's 10,000 is a lot of money. I could do a
Before
lot.
taxes or after taxes?
Before taxes. That's your growth. But that's where a lot of people get so because they take their eyes at that point. You're not looking at Christ for your provision. You're looking at I could do a lot with $10,000. Yeah.
And a rich man would say, I just need a little bit more.
A little bit, yeah.
But then there's men like Laterno that lived on 10%.
Yeah.
And gave
90.
90%
Yeah.
to the Lord.
Jason Penny did this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's,
Okay.
you see, I don't need this, I only need this.
Yeah,
The Lord we can do stuff with
right,
that.
right.
And to me, that's laying up.
The ultra
treasure.
rich in the world, worldly folks, they're just counting the Benjamins and I got more than you do.
Yeah.
And they don't really need it.
Who
They
cares?
don't know what to do with all of it, really.
Yeah.
But they
It's
need
like-
more, they definitely need more.
Yeah.
Because I have more than you.
Well, somebody was interviewing Musk, Elon Musk, and he was saying, well, the world may look at me and say I'm worth this, but all of this is in this company and in this company and this company and my employees, it's not just me, it's,
He seems to have gotten past the money thing.
Yeah.
And now he's into something else, which is just as bad, but.
well,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not saying he's a Christian, I'm just saying, people look at him and try and go, oh, we need to take some of that money away from him. It's like, what are you thinking? It's,
Mhm.
he's employing
He's using
millions of people,
it. He's got some big ideas. Some
Yeah.
of them might even be good ideas.
well, I
Some of them are-
I
Some
don't
may
know
work.
his,
None of them live forever.
I don't know his,
Right.
He will. On
Yeah,
Mars.
oh, yes.
Everybody.
Absolutely, yeah.
everybody's gonna live forever,
Yeah,
they
but he's
just
not
don't
thinking
know it.
about, he's not thinking about that one place that he's going. That's not his focus. He thinks that he's gonna, in this world.
Well, he did know, Charlie and other Christians that have, whether or not, who knows what the Lord's gonna do in his life. I mean, I have no clue what's
Stay tuned.
going on in his life, and the Lord can
Yeah.
do amazing thing in anyone's life, but if his focus is only on earthly things, then, the eye of the camel is a tough thing to crawl through for powerful people sometimes. So I'd rather be the,
So
I'm
take it
thankful
back-
for
I'm
what
gonna
we
take it back to the question, can you use money to get yourself treasures in heaven?
Yes.
Buy a part of the mountain, but you can get yourself. And what are some ideas of how that happens and how to be shrewd about doing that? How to be most effective?
Well, I
I did
think
not
like,
get taken in by,
well, in the parable, the master heard reports that he was being wasteful, right? So that's what brought the steward down, was that he was being wasteful.
yeah,
But then when he knew he was gonna get canned, he was shrewd.
all of a sudden he got smart.
Well, it was the continued shrewdness, but trying to get people indebted to him so that he would be able to
And then-
survive.
And in the conclusion, well, in the wrap up of the parable.
Yeah.
The master is complimenting him on his shrewdness. That seems to be part of the parable. One of the things he wants you to get was that this guy was shrewd. Shrewdness is good. So don't be foolish in how you use your money.
Right.
Invest it for the kingdom, so they'll have treasures in heaven.
You said how to use money. I think of something that Voice of the Martyrs, what they do when they help people. And for us, we think more in terms of big bucks, but they give a family maybe some material and a sewing machine. Or somebody, if they give them a phone and a couple, that's really building into the kingdom, A goat and a chick, but they get them whatever little thing that they may need to actually start to build, I guess, to build
To
wealth.
build a life.
A life, yes.
To make a living.
And that is really sowing into the kingdom.
No? Or there's a couple of ministries that do that for children, right? Compassion.
Passion connection, that's that, yeah.
There's another one for children as well. Or anyway, but that's it's a small amount.
Yeah.
To make a big difference in someone's life.
A long-term difference,
long
rather
term.
than just
Yeah.
feeding them and giving them a clothes that they're gonna outgrow.
Yeah, like the American system. That's just terrible. Sorry.
So be wise in how you invest your giving. That's just a word for it.
Where is your money going to do be most helpful?
Right, we were giving to one organization to help Jews. And we found that organization was not particularly wise in how it used its money. And switched to a different organization.
And there's one, what I support, Lev Haolam, what is it? Why I don't do it quarterly, you can do it monthly, but it's I think it's not much, it's like $110 that you give. And they send you a box, a surprise box, and something, it might be olive oil, cookies, mushroom, whatever, coffee. But the thing about it, you're helping them, but in return, they're also giving something back to you.
Got any other charities that you love because of how they use the money?
Well, my ministry, El Shaddai Ministry, my Pastor Mark, they have built, wells in Kenya, and it's gone and they've shown, and we have sponsored for the prison that they had. I mean, their bathroom was a hole in the ground. And, we have built toilets and bathroom.
That's not just convenience, that's health.
That's house, exactly. I mean, can you imagine, you go to the bathroom, only there's no water, so now, and they're using solar power, you're talking about solar. I have the solar panels on my house and I can tell you this one. I know it's, especially in the summertime, because I just got my electric bill and it was $47 and I use my air conditioning and everything. And usually from about April to about November, that's about what my bill is. And then whatever the extra is stored on.
Then you gotta heat.
But whatever extra from that's been generated, they take it off
Goes
your
towards
next
the next
window,
bill.
the next bill. So it averages out.
Summer's usually cheaper. Air conditioning doesn't cost as much as heat does.
Well, unless you're in Arizona, in case you didn't need any heat.
Yeah. Well, we do use some heat, in the winter.
Sometimes,
It does get
'Cause it'll,
cold in
at
the night.
nighttime, it'll get down to, like
sometimes in the
low
40s.
40s usually.
Just put a little insulation in your house.
Yeah.
Well, Ours is a prefab. A little bit hard to insulate, but it's, yeah, it's,
There's a group down in Arizona, I mean, I know they're around the United States, but it's called Feed My Starving Children.
Okay.
And actually, they want and require people to come and work for them. You can sign up for a 2-hour shift.
Mhm.
And you are actually putting the food in the bags and there's 4 different ingredients and it's a whole big system. I mean, it's very, very well run. But the gift shop is all, and they put this food out to kids and people all around the world. But the gift shop is full of items from those countries and they are handmade by the people that they are feeding in those towns, in those, I'll say cities, but towns, villages. It's a great experience. I've done it 3 times now. One of them was with our Bible study group from the park, and the other one was we got a church group to go. And we probably will do that 2 or 3 times during the year because the church people just thought it was the greatest thing. Just to know that you're helping in that little bit. I mean, I sit there and I put labels on the bags. And there are other people that are, putting the food in there and zipping them up, and they make a big deal about, filling a box, they'll, because there's a big line and they just do, anyway, so when the box gets filled, there's a big hoopla about it, And so they do make it very fun, but they do let people know the plan of salvation is given to everybody at the end, and they let you know how many bags we filled and how many children that's going to feed for how long. And yeah, and usually we have done anywhere from 500 to 800 bags, depending on the number of people that we have in the group for that 2-hour. I mean, it's 2 hours.
Perfect. Graham does that shoebox thing.
Yes.
Shoebox,
Yeah, we do that too.
Samaritan.
When I came to Rochester, Kodak brought me to Rochester and I started working. There was this United Way thing.
Mm.
And boy, that was, how much you gonna get? Not if. The 10% would be all
They're
right.
crooked though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, they
I
are.
wouldn't
And
do
they make you feel guilty if you don't do it.
Right.
it. Right.
We want our whole group to be a part of this. We want
I'm not sure
100%
what I
participation.
lost by not giving to them.
Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
I gave to a Christian, I don't remember what it was now, but I was a Kodak, I gave to a Christian.
Oh, yes.
And we could
We
choose.
could
different
designate, I remember that. yes.
Actually, I think it was the Christian, the prison ministry.
Prison
Okay.
ministry.
Yeah.
I could designate my gift to them. So I said, I can't give to this, but I can
Get
give
to
to
that,
this.
yeah.
And so my giving always went to the prison ministry.
Yeah, there was a time when that was an option.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when it twisted, well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Under the
just-
shepherding of the.
I just told, I remember, I can't support that group, that they're too off the wall for
Yeah,
me.
if you're the Mormon, they're just fine.
Yeah. Well,
All right, so what do you expect from the pastor today?
we'll see,
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
see how he,
I'm thinking maybe you're coming in with a better grasp of it. At least you've thought it through a bit, whether you agree or not. I've done. You make something completely different, and really the goal of a sermon is different than what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to teach a little more.
right.
This is the introduction.
This is the introduction, and he's gonna have the main course for you.
Well, it's just interesting though, that he used that as an illustration of, well, if being worldly savvy, has in a sense this benefit to it. Really, the bottom line was how much more benefit is it to be faithful?
Yeah. This guy was wise in what he did to build for himself treasure in this next phase of his life.
Right.
How are you gonna be wise, invest so that you have wealth in your next?
Right.
Yeah.
But he wasn't saying this guy was a good guy.
No, no. All through.
He's a jerk and he's a bigger jerk.
He was unjust, he was. He was a thief, bad. Yep, okay, well, I'm gonna pray and get on. Now, Father, thank you for your blessings, thank you for this passage, thank you for Jesus and his mysterious sayings for us, and for the resources to dig in. Pray for a great service this morning, a good message, pray for the music as well, and volunteer for that. And for your sake, amen.
Amen.